I'm Nicole Matheson, and this is Unbreakable, a podcast celebrating the potential of breakups and breakdowns, or bathroom floor moments as we have come to know them. These are the moments that have us on our knees and make us feel lost and broken. Yet as they crack us open, they also have the power to transform us. Come with me as we draw on the wisdom and experience of those who have been there and come out stronger, clearer, and more truly aligned with who they are. The message of this podcast is that you are going to be okay, and there is a part of you that is unbreakable. As women, we can feel so bad about saying no and being true to ourselves, especially in the face of someone else's need, whether it be our children, our community, or even our intimate partners reaching for us in bed at night. In this episode, I speak to sexologist Lauren White, who, as we are chatting, says something that really hits home for me. She says, "For women, the truth is not fixed. It can be fluid. What we mean in the present moment is only what we mean in the present moment." This gave me so much permission to change my mind, permission to feel into the present moment for what is true, and not to feel bad about it or to feel like I need to defend it, but to be unapologetic. And it felt like a huge relief for me. There is so much gold in this episode. Lauren and I also chat about the libido crash and crazy hormones that made 2016 her bathroom floor year, the mother guilt as she asks herself, why aren't I like all those other mums just wanting to spend time with my kids? How keeping her sexual flame alive is not a job segregated off for the bedroom, the best sex advice you could ever get, and her reason why she doesn't actually give sex tips. How connecting with women is where she finds her inspiration, her guidance, and her reason for being. How marriage is changing and sexuality is the leading edge of that change. And finally, why speaking up is her biggest evolutionary challenge at the moment and why it is so important for women. Enjoy. So I want to invite you, Lauren, to share a bathroom floor moment, something in the realm of love or relationships.
Can I choose the whole of 2016 to be a bathroom floor moment? My bathroom floor moment lasted 365 days, approximately. No, exactly. Yes, 2016 was one of the most challenging phases or periods of my life. I was just thrown a number of curveballs from the spiritual realm, from the intellectual realm, the physical realm, the libido realm. It was a year of feeling very separated from my libido, which is my life force energy. And it started with a perfect tone. I was in bed on the 31st of December 2015 after a stellar year. It was a cracker of a year with morning sickness that had seeped well into the nighttime. And I think I went to bed at 9 o'clock that night. And it was almost as if that set the tone for what my year was going to feel like. Being nauseated and powerless. It was a really huge year and a tough pregnancy, which I hadn't experienced before, and I now have a much deeper appreciation for for what some women go through, and why they don't feel like they're glowing, and why they just want it to be over, and how that connects to the rest of their identity, because women aren't just one thing at a time. We're not just pregnant and that's it. We've got, I had all, my fingers in lots of different pies, and it was challenging to keep up. It was challenging to be out there, and my creativity, my voice and my libido just fell to some sort of rock bottom place.
Wow.
Mm.
And so you were just telling me that your daughter is now 5 months old.
Yep. So she arrived in August of last year. Her birth was the best moment of last year by far. It really was. It was a massive highlight, with an undercurrent of lowlights. So I have immense, goes without saying, I have immense gratitude for my body giving birth, and it was a great, wonderful, profound human experience that I really cherish, and I'm now like, oh, I could give birth again. I'm really getting good at this. That aside, it was the other 364 days of the year were pretty pretty dark. Dark is the word.
And so this darkness continued after her birth. Was that with
Yeah, it did.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah. So I had the original sense of relief. Wow, my baby's been born. She's so beautiful, fingers and toes. Feeding off to a great start. Personality, beauty, everything. She's the entire package. And what was in the background, though, what I was up against was when that initial relief dissipated, like, oh, I'm not pregnant anymore. I can lie on my back and I can do all these things I couldn't do for 9 months. When that sort of, when that dissolved from my body and from my life, it sort of gave way to a darkness that was questioning, well, what's my identity? What am I? I'm a mother again for the second time. I'm really grateful. Am I trapped now? Am I trapped? How do I get out of this? Oh my gosh, this is permanent. This is really permanent. Yep, it's permanent again. What about all the things that I want to do? And what about the things that and what about what type of mother am I? Because my attention is so divided between all these things that I want to do and all this creativity I've got back into my womb now that my baby's out of my body, and just feeling constantly pulled in multiple directions and not really feeling present with one thing at a time, just, multitasking, balls in the air. Guilt would follow because I'm not being enough of any one thing that I'm choosing to do. And a lot of these are choices, there are a lot of choices in my life. Things haven't been thrust upon me, but I just have this massive fire in my belly, and that's really, really hard, having a fire in your belly when motherhood calls for softness and quiet, and especially in the early months, like it's and surrender. That's the word I'm looking for. And to look at other mums going, oh my gosh, how come they don't want to work on a business like I do? Or how come they don't want to read about sex again? And how come, and it really was, even though I know there's nothing wrong with me, it was and there's nothing wrong with my identity, and I love that I've got that fire. It's really hard when everyone else around you is surrendering to motherhood, enjoying it, blissed out, don't want to go back to work, and I'm just going, oh my gosh, I just want to go into a session with a client. Like, that will give me the biggest kick right now. It's not going to Gymboree and playing with my baby. It's I want to be back out there. So it was reconciliation of my identity and being okay with that. That's where the darkness has taken me, and my poor husband has been stood by me the whole way and been along for whatever stuff or whatever vitriol is coming out of my mouth about what I should be and what I need to be and what I need to be doing, what I have to be doing in order to be it all. Yeah.
Gosh, okay, I have lots of questions. So I can relate to this, like, so much, being a woman with a fire in my belly, with 2 children, feeling pulled in multiple directions, feeling the guilt of wanting to get stuck into my work, and knowing I need to be present. And it's been a real journey for me to actually, like you say, getting to the point of acceptance with the fire in your belly, with wanting that, but also with the surrender of it will take longer. It will, it's a process, so we need to be patient with it. Oh, yeah, how wonderful. I'm just thinking about the work that you do as a sexologist. And that this experience must really inform your work.
Big time. So many mirrors. And that darkness has just let me see how easy it is to become disconnected from your libido, to feel angry at your partner because you feel angry with yourself, or I need to own that. I was angry with myself, so I was angry with my partner, who is the most incredible man on the planet. It's just that frustration and that frustration and that anger. And I see how women, it really, really came through that women it is imperative that women do what they need to do to keep their fire going, in order that for them to feel content with everything else in their lives. So we really do need a very, very vital piece for ourselves. It needs to be bigger than a piece or bigger than a nugget. It needs to be, for me, it needs to be like a whole cake. Like I need something huge to pour all that fiery energy into in order to come home and go, I feel a bit spent, I feel content, now I can be with you, so now I can be present with you, now I can acknowledge you, now I have a sense of satisfaction.
Oh,
so that's how,
God,
that's
yes. So
that's how it works for me.
I don't think you're alone. I actually think that often we lose our libido when we lose outward interests or direction or purpose, so we're fully there with our children, which is great, but we're not, in doing that we might be letting the fire go out because there's a part of us that needs some soul fulfillment, I suppose. Like some deeper direction. And I'm not saying that can't be your children, but I just feel that for a lot of us, it's not our children, it's something else. And it makes us a better mother if we keep that fire alive, which is kind of what you're saying.
Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes, most definitely. It needs to be something that, for me, it needs to be something that I'm giving to the world that is separate from my family. It's almost as if I see how my work blows into my life and my life blows into my work. I'm not saying I can keep this firm, tight boundary on everything and compartmentalize everything, but this bigger offering that we have needs to be separate from our family, and it needs to, as you said, it needs to feed our soul. And sometimes it doesn't even need to be a purpose. It just needs to be something that gives us that sense of of satisfaction and that contribution to a higher good.
Yeah. Or just a contribution to feeling alive for ourselves. Like that can be enough. And I remember like years ago when I was coming to see you for my own libido stuff, one of the big things that I got from you was permission, I suppose, to tend to my own fire. You know, to not be passive about it and go, he's not lighting my fire, come on. Like to actually be proactive to, you know, which I knew this, but for some reason I needed someone else to hand me the permission or to just really let it drop. But so that shifted lots, you know. It's like, okay, I have to take responsibility for this. I have permission to stand in my needs, to direct our interactions in a certain way, you know, for our own connection and for my fire. But I love what you've gone, sort of that extra step, which is that this is not just about stirring up sensuality, you know, in loving interactions or in how to get turned on. This is the work that you're doing or the things you're focusing on in your life are fueling that same fire. Yeah. Just tell us a bit more about that connection.
How, the connection between the things in my own life that flow into my work, is that
flow into your libido.
Okay. So libido is so much more than what happens in sex or what happens in the bedroom. And this is the biggest, if you can only ever take one thing from my work, it's that libido is your ability to give and receive pleasure, enjoyment, and acknowledgement. And I love that definition. I've got goosebumps running up my legs right now, because it's talking about women from all corners, it's talking about every single facet of your life flows into your sexuality. And you mentioned it before, like when things are going well, you're going to have more libidinous energy. And when you're feeding yourself from in all different ways, you're going to feel more psyched for sex. If you're depleted, depressed, operating in martyr mode, maybe really pregnant and your hormones aren't quite aligned, so many things can get in the way of our libidinous energy. So I love that. I love that definition about giving and receiving acknowledgement, pleasure and enjoyment, because when we acknowledge ourselves, when we acknowledge our partners, when we demonstrate genuine interest in them, and when we demonstrate genuine interest in ourselves, like genuine fascination in ourselves, it's not narcissistic, it's not selfish, it's what I like to call self-centered. We're keeping ourselves centered by looking after ourselves and by tending to our fires and checking out where our libidinous energy is. And my libidinous energy is fed when I'm connecting with women, when I'm connecting with my partner, when I'm doing what I feel is my soul's work, when I'm writing, when I'm preparing something that feels really delicious, maybe when I'm drinking champagne as well, that sort of happens as well. But my libido, when I tend to my libido in all those other ways, and I give myself permission to really own that this is how my identity works, this is what my libido responds well to, I'm way more present in sex. I'm way more interested in sex being a means of giving to myself and giving to my partner and receiving for myself, and hopefully my partner receiving as well. Mm-hmm. So it's really, my work is really more about, and my life is really more about looking at libido full circle rather than what do you like in sex, and what sex tips can I share with you so that you can do this to generate pleasure for him and generate pleasure for you? Like, women need to take a massive step back and look at all those things that you mentioned, like permission. Like, you might know all the sex tips, but they don't mean anything until you feel more open and expansive, accepting of yourself and your libido in all of its forms and all of its expressions.
Wow, yeah, I love that.
Mm.
And so when you are having this bathroom floor year of 2016, I'm pretty sure a lot of people had 2016 as a bathroom floor year. It was a bit of a crazy one.
Oh, yeah.
What were the sort of beliefs and thoughts that were really holding you back, getting you stuck?
I'll always feel this way. All the classics. I'm just going to give you all the classic hits right now. I'm always going to feel this way. Nothing is ever going to change. Nothing's going to get better. And I laugh because they're so human and so common, but when they're happening, they are so convincing. They're the best car salesmen out there. What else was it? The whole not enough garden variety. Not sexual enough. Why aren't I a woman that loves having sex in pregnancy? Just all.
And was that followed by I should be because I'm a sexologist?
Yep. Yeah, that comes and goes. I'm getting, after 4 years, I'm getting to a point where I finally accepting, am okay with, and putting out there that my libidinous energy is about so much more than sex. And I think that's where people sort of see what I'm offering, or they might come to a workshop or a group or a seminar, and it's like, oh, aren't you going to tell us what to do? And it's like, no, step back. I want to talk to you about how you actually feel and what beliefs you have circling underneath, underneath your body, in your soul when it comes to sex and what you think a sexual woman is. I want to go to that place because, none of that other stuff makes sense. So I've definitely reconciled, and I will be putting it out there this year that I'm a really, really sexual woman without needing a lot of sex or what people think of as sex or classic sex or self-pleasure. Like, I don't actually need a lot of that because my sexuality is what's important to me. And that gets channeled and expressed in so many other parts of my life that I don't have to, I'm not attached to orgasm. I'm not attached to getting off. I'm not attached to, to using my genitals to express my sexuality at all. So
I love that. That's really like, that's really revolutionary. I can just feel myself going, I resonate with that. I do.
Great. Yep. My sexuality is more important than my sex life. And that's the God honest truth, and that is me. And that's what I offer women. It's not about increasing your frequency of how much you have sex. It's about fine-tuning your sexuality and tending to that. And it's probably going to flow into your sex life. It probably will. And it really is about quality, serious quality over sex where you're not present, you're going through the laundry list, you're just getting it over and done with to placate your partner. You might get some pleasure, but you're not really bothered whether you have it or not. Like that's the sort of sex that you're going to have when your sexuality doesn't have any space to breathe or express itself in the rest of your life.
So when you're in that head fuck space of I should be more better, Over.
You'll be more better off.
What is it that you, like, you know, because that's really the bottom of the bottom, in whatever form it comes.
Yeah.
What is it that gives you hope, or that you can turn to in those moments?
Women, full stop. Just other women. Oh my god. It's one of my habits or my patterns is to go, I don't know if they want to be, why should I be friends with it? I'm not giving much back to this woman, or why should I be friends with her? I won't reach out, I won't say anything. Like, there's some of the first thoughts that pop up when I feel that way. But the good news for me is that it doesn't last for very long. Like, it probably only lasts a couple of hours, and I'm like, I really need to talk to someone. I really need to talk to another woman. And for me, it's women that have generally, not always, but generally it's women that have known me for a long time. So they've seen how my identity is evolved. They know all some of the headfuck stuff from the past as well. So that's really helpful, not having to explain that. But I'm very lucky in that, or I've consciously created a life where I have women, from the past. I have women in my family. I have women that I'm connected with maybe more online, in certain groups, and even, and I mean this with the greatest sense of integrity, even the privilege of listening to another woman's sexual story in sessions without speaking at all about what's going on for me, somehow still feeds that, nurtures me. Just that privilege of listening and being witness to them recounting their story. So, the answer is, for me, is always other women. In all the women that have space in my life that have that I've invited in, or have invited them, nicely invited themselves, and just that,
I love that. I love that answer. Because really, this is what we do. This is our superpower. It is hearing and holding and sharing and compassion.
Yeah. And sometimes some really old school advice as well. Sometimes this is, I know it's really not au fait in the counselling books that I read when I was studying counselling, but sometimes women that know you can give you a good dose of, actually, this is what you need to do right now. Like, you cannot keep doing X, Y, and Z. You actually need to get your ass to here, or you need to do this, and that's sometimes exactly what you need, and that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that you have to take that advice and run with it. But when you're in that space of maybe feeling really powerless, or it's just so hard to see. It's just so hard to see what's going on with you, or it's so hard for me to see what's going on with me when I'm so deep in the suck. Like, and mirrors don't work, and I just can't see anything. Like, I'm just so deep in it. So, expressing and talking to other women and hearing out what they have to say, or what they want to share, or what they think you could do to get you out of that funk is just invaluable. It's gold.
Absolutely. And really, I suppose that's what you and I offer as people who hold space for other people, women who hold space for other women. Really, we're just saying, hey, let us try and see out of your suck hole.
Yes.
So that we can hold the light and hold the mirror and show you to the next step.
Yep. Yeah. You can't. It's not sustainable to stay in that space, and it doesn't serve you to stay there. Sure, like, get what you want from it, get what you will from it, because there are parts of it that are quite alluring. It's can be quite alluring to stay in that darkness, and it's definitely got its its appeal. But when you feel just one glimmer of, nah, I've got to get out of this, or I need a stronghold, or I need a breaking point out of it, oh my gosh, reach out to other women first and foremost. And yeah, it might be someone you know, it might be someone for you, it might need to be someone brand new that you don't know that you see in a professional sense as well. That's definitely an excellent option, so that you know that what they share with you will be impartial.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I feel that need myself. In fact, when I reached out to you, that's exactly what I needed. You know, was just impartiality, professionalism, distance. You know, and a work to treat.
This episode of Unbreakable is brought to you by my Heal Your Heart meditation, a soothing, rhythmic, 10-minute guided meditation to lead you home to the healing power of your heart. Go to www.nicolematheson.com/heart to get your copy. Now, back to the episode.
When you have these breakdown moments, like, what I love about them is they strip us back. And I feel that we find a part of us that is unbreakable. So I'm wondering for you what that feels and looks like.
The part of me that's unbreakable. It feels very grounded. It feels very old. It feels very ancient. It feels very primal, the part of myself that's unbreakable. It feels very, very connected to all the women that are here and all the women that have come before me, and even all the women that are going to follow us. Even when I look, I'm blessed to have 2 girls, and oh my God, 2 powerhouses. How I'm just so honored that I get to raise 2 women with far less conditioning than I was exposed to, and far more choice and full consent to live their life. So to me, the part of me that is unbreakable is it really is the part that's connected to women. Oh my God. Definitely, definitely giving birth, raising daughters, speaking up.
I feel the power of this. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just what women have endured and what they've overcome. And I just think of some of my tech problems, my tech phobia, and I go, oh my God, this is nothing. This is nothing compared to what other women have, experienced I'm definitely unbreakable. I'm just so hungry. I am so hungry. There's no way that I feel that, but I mean that in the best way. I'm not starving myself. It's just that I am so hungry for what lies beyond this day today, and for how I can serve women, and how I can, like I mentioned before, how I can feel satisfied. I know it's coming, and I hold on to that. I know it's coming. I know that we really haven't seen anything yet when it comes to women, and how empowered women are, and how they're so ready to break out and speak
revolution.
Up. The revolution. I am so certain it is. We're seeing the very beginning of it.
Yeah,
that's
I feel
what
it.
2017 means to me, is the cracks of the revolution starting for women.
And I feel like such big changes are happening culturally, or have to happen culturally. And one of the leading edges of that is sexuality. you know, and the culture of shame, which you're on the front line of.
Yeah, I'm on the front line of helping women unblock and helping myself, and all the messages that just seep in through various media outlets of clearing that block of not sexual enough, too sexual, just all those polarities that exist. What was it? A dear client said to me recently, she wants to be the cool wife. And we're like, well, what's the cool wife like? The cool wife has sex whenever the husband wants to have sex. The cool wife lets the husband do what he needs to do and go hang with the boys, even if it's an inconvenience. And it's like, I don't want to be the other type of wife, which is, you know, maybe a bit of Stepford wife or bitch wife, she called it, bitch wife. Cool wife, bitch wife. Like, we still have so many polarities. If we're not this, then we're the other thing. The other thing's bad. So it's better to do this because we still want to people please. We still want to make sure everyone's comfortable. Okay if we're uncomfortable because everyone else will be comfortable. So that's okay. I just, all of that, I'm definitely on the front line of helping women unblock so many of those unhelpful messages that seep into their identity and their libidinous energy and ultimately their sex lives and their ability to be intimate and to truly connect with whoever it is that they want to connect with. So I really believe it, Nicole, when we look at our sexuality and we go there, as scary as it is, as much of an edge as it can sort of push for us, it really unlocks all the other parts of our identity. Our heart, it unlocks our heart, it unlocks our throat, it unlocks our intuition, it unlocks our power, it unlocks our sense of security and safety and what we thought that needs to be, thought that needs to be. So,
yeah.
Really big job ahead of me. I'm going to do it. I'm signing myself up.
Which is why you need your fire well alive, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And how, just on the weekend there, I actually had a bit of a wake up moment in my marriage. These things happen a lot, but you know, it was a moment of kind of intellectual discussion that was happening between me and my husband that has again and again triggered me into being defensive. It's like the nature of a certain type of conversation that gets me on my back foot and punching out. And I realized after I processed it quite a bit that it came from the patriarchy, the masculine, being the dominant culture, and me, the feminine, feeling like I needed to justify the feeling, intuitive, feminine aspects in a kind of masculine way. And I had a breakthrough realization that this is the repeated frustration that I'm feeling. And it's not a moment of blaming him because he's part of this culture, you know, like that's not his fault. But I was getting angry about that. Whereas actually I just need to stand up and go, well, I don't have to frame it in this way. I don't have to justify it in this way. I just know. I just intuit. I just feel, and that is enough. You know, like, I feel like part of this revolution is standing in the power of another paradigm of knowing. And you know, the front line is actually my marriage at the moment. But my question for you is how do things shift in your relationship as you become more empowered in your feminine?
I learn about myself, the more I can reveal to my partner what the feminine actually is. And I'm in a very interesting dynamic where I'm learning about the feminine through my husband. Really am. I really am. I've learned so much about femininity through him. Mature femininity. And one thing that we joke about, most definitely. Laughter is good medicine, by the way, for all of our hang-ups and our triggers and our patterns and our really annoying and not, like all the things that we do that are super annoying to our partners. It's also normal. We really just have to, there are so many things that we can laugh about. One thing, it's healthy. It's really healthy. Laugh while we learn. One thing I'm really learning about is in my femininity, and as you mentioned before, power, is learning where my full stop is, that I don't need to justify and keep going on because then, and this is because, and I feel this way because, like, none of that language is really helping us. It's just this is how I feel, full stop. Like, it is complete in itself, that feeling. And here's a little twist to femininity, that this is how I feel, full stop, is only for that moment. Like, feminine energy is so changeable and so quick to change its mind, and this is where our men, when they're in their masculinity, can get really confused. It's like, but you said this yesterday, or you liked it this time, and we need to own our yes and our no in the present moment. We need to share it with men without justifying it, and the more that we do that, the more that they're going to cotton on to what we mean in that present moment is what we mean in that present moment, and that's it. So we're getting there. It's a work in progress. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything and pretend I've got all the answers, but yeah, that's something. Women need to embrace the full stop, and I need to embrace the full stop.
Yeah. And the fluidity of that full stop and where it can move to.
Sometimes it's going to come across as a ... sometimes it's a ... and we say it as a full stop, or sometimes it's a full stop and we say it as a ... When there are inconsistencies and it's incongruent, people are going to pick up on that. So it's, play with it, don't beat yourself up, but really, really embrace your full stop when it comes to your consent and your yes and your no in everything in your life in that moment, and be open to the fact that it could change, and it's safe for you to change your mind. Women need to feel safe, so it's safe for you to change. It really is. It really is.
Because the truth is only ever in the present moment.
That's right. That is exactly right. It is not fixed. It's not set. It's not built into our bones or anything. It's something, you mentioned the word fluid. The truth can be fluid. It's not something that we need to cling to for dear life. It's something that's going to evolve as you learn, and that's a good thing. If you stuck to your truth as a little girl, or your truth, what you knew of your truth as an 18-year-old or a 25-year-old, and so on and so forth, you'd be stuck in that. You'd be stuck in that phase of your life, and you wouldn't be where you are now. It's it's something very
totally. That's a really nice way to put it, because my 18-year-old self, her full stop was in a completely different place to my current day one. And I feel, I don't know if you feel this too, but I feel like part of the feminine revolution has to be and is the changing face of marriage. I feel like marriage is evolving, and I don't think it's going to look the same in 20 years' time. And full stops around, like I have a lot of clients who've had run-ins with adultery or things that they've had full stops in the past, and but once they're actually in it, they're like, actually, this has cracked us open, and perhaps this is not a full stop, and I thought it was, and oh my God, what's happening? But I feel like it's okay to change that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. The tapestry of marriage is definitely going to change, and it's going to become far more open, just from what I'm learning personally, professionally. It's not going to be so repressed. It's not going to be so strict, and it's not going to be governed by so many rules. And I'm not even talking about necessarily opening up your marriage to other people. There's going to be more equity in marriage, is the way that I see it, and I'm starting to see it as well, rather than there being a power, rather there being lots of little power plays and a hierarchy of who's in the marriage. And it's going to mean something completely different. Quite different.
Which is exciting. It's exciting
for
us.
More empowerment, more choice, more authenticity.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what is your edge, the challenge that you're turning towards at this point in your life? Like your unbreakable edge, or your going over the edge?
My edge at the moment is speaking up, and it's speaking up about what I feel genuinely helps women. Speaking up in my life, speaking up to my family. Speaking up to people that I perceive to be in a position of power above me. That's something I didn't do last year, and was one of the moments that I had a bit of a flashback to recently, not speaking up to medical professionals on a number of occasions, and I'm still holding anger about that I need to forgive and let go of. So speaking up and being consistent with my speaking up, not being, I won't speak up here because of X, Y, and Z, but I will speak up here, and just feeling more safe within myself to own what I want to put out there and to own my identity. And because there's only one of me, like, who gives a shit what anyone else thinks? Just to own it, and to and to not be concerned by how others are going to perceive what I say and what I express. That is my edge for 2017, and that's already in motion, and I'm truly proud of myself for that. Truly.
It's so brave.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, and if you had some advice for women who were maybe going through some kind of bathroom floor moment, such as they've lost their libido or their voice or some other aspect of their feminine, what would you say to them?
I see you and I hear you, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what it's like to be you, but what you're going through is immense and it's overwhelming. But it's up to you to find an opening, and that opening to sourcing your libido, to lifting that veil of depression, is going to be wherever in your body or your mind, or maybe both, says that there's a yes. Like, just find an opening, just find it, and hold on tight to it. And it could be, I'll get into the practical, it could be seeing someone, it could be reading a book. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into how you might find what it's going to be for you. It could be something that really triggers you. And when I say triggers, it means that it sets off something within you very physically and emotionally, because it can be, sometimes we're triggered by the things that we really want to know about, but we're not giving ourselves permission to go there. And it could be someone that you really admire, but you feel triggered by in the same breath. So it could be someone that you want to start following or listening to more of, or you want to enroll in their course, or you want, or maybe a person in your personal life that you want to have more contact with. Just in the most gentlest way possible, find an opening. If there's something there that triggers you, it could be some vital information around something that you need that you're denying yourself, something that you're not giving yourself permission to do or permission to be, or maybe that person has qualities that you want to embody, and that's something that you need to go seek for yourself, because it will enhance your life, or it will give your life colour, or it will feed that fire in your belly. Yeah. I hear you. Find your opening and find it for you. No one else is gonna crack you open.
Oh yeah. Awesome. That's great. I love that you mentioned that your yes might feel like, tingles and Hollywood lights and a deliciousness in your body, but it also might feel like you're terrified and challenged, and you want to run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, definitely. Your yes. The work that I do, we talk about your edge, and we're talking about the space where you don't feel like you are fully fledged frightened or scared to death. Like, that's not good, because then you're going to feel unsafe. It's more this really sweet spot of, I feel nervous, I have a sense of anticipation, I'm not quite sure what to expect, there's something there, but it's a yes. So there's light mixed with sparks, if that makes sense, rather than full-fledged dropping you in the deep end or dropping yourself in the deep end, because if you do that too quickly, you can be unconsciously re-traumatizing yourself or holding yourself back. So find that sweet spot of your edge. Just what's your 7 out of 10, I say to women. What's your 7 out of 10? That's usually...
I like that.
It's the simplest model, and I love it. It's like, oh, is this a 7? Is this pushing me into a 9? A 9's not where I want to go. Yeah, where's my 7?
Yeah, because at a 9, your nervous system's going to start shutting you down anyway, so you're not going to be able to be open.
That's right.
It.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. I love that. Thank you. So, Lauren, where can people find you? What are you up to these days?
What am I up to? I'm back in my zone of creativity. I'm back updating my website with blogs. I'm really loving Instagram these days. It's really, I don't know, I'm really having fun with Instagram. So I'm on Instagram as Sexosophy. My website is www.sexosophy.com.au. And I'm on Facebook as well as Lauren White Coach, and Twitter. But I'm not on Twitter so much. I just feed it. It doesn't really give me a lot of joy, even though I love words. So I'd say if you want to follow me, definitely go to claim your free ebook, Sex Hacks, and jump on my newsletter list, or follow me on Instagram. So you get lots of pretty beautiful truth bombs. But I
love following you on Instagram. It's really good. It's great value.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting to me today. It was
welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you for holding this space, and for giving women a space to connect. Thank you, and to hear each other out. You never know how one woman's words are going to serve another woman. So thank you.
thank you so much for tuning in. You can find the show notes for this episode at www.nicolematheson.com/podcast12. While you are there, download my free gift, Sweet Soul Whispers, the soothing words you need to hear when you are lost and broken. If you have enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it with your friends and pop over to iTunes and leave a review and rating. While you're there, sign up to my newsletter or hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, bye.